Hi everybody and welcome to the 2022 Sage Goddess Lionsgate ceremony. We've been offering this to you as a pre-recording because you're in different time zones and we want to make sure you can do it on 8/8. And so every year we provide this little free fun ceremony with a set of tools. If you have your tools, we'll talk about those tools in just a second. My hands are bare of all my jewelry because I'm also blending some incense today that we're going to solar charge here at Sage Goddess. That'll be available to you on the day that you're watching this ceremony. So if you'd like to get that, I'll be making that here on the video and then you can see it and you can find that at sagegoddess.com. But in the meantime, I want to talk to you about what the Lionsgate is and why it's so important. And I'm a Leo, so the Lionsgate is my jam, right? It happens when the sun is in Leo. The Lionsgate usually opens on the 26th of July, which is funny because that's the day after Sage Goddess was founded. And it closes traditionally, or seals, as some people say, on the 12th of August. I was born during the Lionsgate. My birthday is August 9th. And so this is an important window certainly for those of us who are Leos, but I will tell you, it isn't just if you're a Leo. The Lionsgate is a portal to advanced and accelerated embodiment, manifestation, and co-creation with the universe. It's just things happen faster. Things that seem like they were delayed or short-circuited or just weren't happening fast enough, all of a sudden it's like a little bit of a fast-forward button on the universe, and that's what a portal is, right? A portal, remember, is sort of a jump into hyperspace. We leave the kind of slow, low energy of the third dimension and we jump to a higher frequency. And then after the 12th of August, the energies will recede, they'll calm, they'll settle, right? And then, of course, we turn the wheel to Virgo, which naturally sort of settles and grounds us in. And so it's like a super, super fast hyper jump. If it's too much for you, it'll ease. Let's work with it while we have it. If it's not too much for you, people like me who are always looking for that acceleration, we just love the Lionsgate. And so I hope you're excited about today's ceremony. So I want to show you the tools that we're working with. With your kit, you got this beautiful Aura Fluoride octahedron, and I'll explain that in a second. I also built a grid around my mat. You don't have to do this. I'm going to activate it and share the energy with you through my wand. So even if you don't have stones to grid with, a lot of you do though. So if you have the mat, my intention was that over the center of the lion's face, you would put a quartz generator. And then we have these really cool Herkimer diamonds from Pakistan called Pakimers, and I just put 4 of them at the 4 corners. If you have other crystals that you feel called to work with, you should follow your intuition. And like I said, the grid did not come with the set. I have my fluoride octahedron though embedded into my grid, so it's part of my gridding tools. We don't use fluorite as the centerpiece of a grid because it's not quartz based, so it doesn't have the right spin rotation of energy. So I definitely recommend quartz for the center and other quartz based minerals for the 4 directions. And then with your kit, you received your Infinite Empowerment tea lights, their holographic label that we're so excited about here at Sage Goddess. And then you got your little diamond tea light holder, so we're going to light this together, and your Infinite Empowerment perfume, which by the way is going into our Lionsgate incense that I'm blending too. So there'll be kind of a interesting sort of connection and flow between the tools for this particular ceremony and the incense that you can choose to purchase too. The notes, by the way, in Infinite Empowerment, there's oud in here. Remember, oud is a substance that the agarwood tree secretes to heal itself. And what we're doing in this ceremony, I hope you're ready, we're going to activate Diamond Code. I want to explain too what Diamond Code is, and I'll get there in just a second after I talk to you about the notes. But the Diamond Code, and the reason there's a diamond-shaped octahedral fluorite and diamonds in the matrix of your grid and a little diamond tea light holder, the reason we're doing all of this is Diamond Code is the code we activate to heal and evolve our DNA, which I believe decelerates the aging process and accelerates the healing process. So when we activate these codes, we're basically creating this shape between the double helix of our DNA. Your DNA is alive. It's constantly morphing and changing. We act like our DNA is this set in stone thing, but your DNA is a living sort of work in progress, and it shifts over time. It responds to toxins in the environment, but it also responds to positive energy, and it responds to energy work for sure, and the activation of energetic codes. And that's one of the reasons that my team and I put tools together like this and do these meditations, is to help you feel, not just think about what is diamond code, but today's meditation is going to help you feel what the diamond code is. And we're going to activate it all the way from your crown chakra through to your root chakra today. We're going to turn you into a diamond. So we're going to start at your crown chakra, create this octahedron at your heart, and then close it as we come down to the root. And what that's going to do is actually activate all the codes within your 7 physical, or what they call corporeal chakras, right? Coming from the Latin word for body. And so those are the chakras that actually sit in your physical body. We're going to open, activate, align all of those chakras today so that we can allow the energy. Remember, when your chakras are aligned and balanced, energy can flow freely through them. And that's the whole point. You want to be able to work with this Lion's Gate energy. You want to push past imbalances or align through imbalances so that there's really good, clear, clean flow of energy through all 7 of your physical chakras. So if you're not there now, don't worry. It's been a oops, my necklace keeps making that terrible sound. I'm sorry about that. It's been a challenging time for a lot of people. And so I actually think the timing of this ceremony is really profound, because if you haven't quite activated the energy of this portal, it's not too late. That's my main message to you. In fact, you're right on time. This is actually whenever you're watching this on the 7th or on the 8th is the absolute perfect time for you to bring this energy forward, do the meditation. And if you're like, I haven't been feeling anything since July 26th, or it's been harder than usual, today's the day to breathe, center, align, call that energy in. And then I think you'll feel much better going through the rest of this week, through the weekend when the portal closes, and then we sort of get back into our bodies and prepare for the Virgo season, which will ground all of us, right? So I want to welcome you in. I'm going to move this over and burn a little sage with you. It's big energy, that's for sure. Now, what makes the Lion's Gate? Let me talk about that for a second. Because there's actually a powerful Egyptian narrative to why this even matters. And some of you know it because you've been with me for a long time, and I've been teaching you this for over 10 years, but some of you are new. And whenever you're learning about it is exactly when you're supposed to, right? There's no early or late to this story. But I do want to take this all the way around me, and then certainly over my tools. So what happens is every year, the star Sirius rises above the horizon in a way that we can see and recognize, right? The star Sirius is a powerful star. It's the star that the wise men followed to find Christ in the manger, right? They brought their frankincense and their myrrh and their gold in their beautiful jars, and they followed that star to find Jesus. That's the story. And so there's definitely kind of a Christ consciousness energy of the Syrian rising, what they call the heliacal rising of Sirius. And all that means is it rises above the horizon, so it's visible. What the Egyptians noticed, and this is why we celebrate this even today, they're like, this seems to happen every year right before the Nile floods, because the Nile floods every year. And so Sirius would rise above the horizon. They could see it, and all of a sudden the Nile would rise. Now, the Nile rising might cause you to have some anxiety, but for the Egyptians, it was always good news. Remember, that is the sign of Isis's blessings in Egypt. The rising of the Nile and the rising of those waters meant abundance. It meant food. When the Nile didn't rise enough, there was a lot of anxiety in Egypt, because it's sort of like the harvest here in our days today. Like, if we don't have a good harvest, good crops, if we don't have enough of it, we can't sustain ourselves through the year. The rising of the Nile was very much the same for the Egyptians. It was a message about to what extent they could expect a prosperous, healthy, and abundant year ahead. So they often attributed their growth, their abundance, their prosperity to Sirius, to the star. Isn't that interesting? So we have Judeo-Christian understanding of why Sirius is important, because it led the wise men to the Christ child. We have an Egyptian tradition or understanding or narrative about why it's important, because it meant prosperity and abundance. And I think for those of us today, we align it to the energy of the season of Leo. As a Leo, I can say Leos have a lot of flaws, but one of the things we're really good at is we're extremely generous, We are confident. We feel powerful most of the time, unless something is happening to move us out of alignment. But usually we're fairly confident and we feel strong and empowered. And we try to hold that vibration and bring that vibration to other people, right? It's part of our work in the world. And so all of those understandings today, you can see there's similarities across them, right? This is a portal for abundance. This is a portal for power. Now, this is a portal for acceleration. If things have been moving too slowly, let's speed it up, right? And it can speed up the good and it can speed up the challenging too, especially if you've been kind of like postponing something or denying something. It'll kind of like, it'll out things. So sometimes this particular portal, the Lion's Gate portal, can be challenging. But I will tell you, whatever comes to light or accelerates during this portal probably was coming anyway. And sometimes the rapidness, the acceleration can serve you. So try to have an open mind. Now I'm going to light my tea light, which is made with all those same oils, right? For strength, for healing, for abundance. So I want you to take a nice deep breath there. Just roll your shoulders back. You're right where you need to be. There's nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. And whenever you're doing this ceremony, I know it's just exactly the right time and place for you, and that's beautiful. So our candle is lit. And let's anoint with some of this infinite empowerment. It really is meant to be an empowerment blend for you. Oh, my little dropper fell off. That's all right. So we're just going to take a little bit at our wrist for what we do. A little bit at our third eye for what we know. It smells so good. And a little bit at our ankles for where we travel to bless our steps. Putting a little bit on the tops of my feet too. It's always good to bless your feet. Your hands and your feet are where you take in most of the energy. And your feet are always trying to ground you and stabilize you. So anointing your feet is an ancient practice, takes us back thousands of years. It's actually funny because in the West, we don't take care of our feet. Like there are, places you can go for a foot massage and things like that. And you should, because your feet are magical. They have lots of chakras in your toes and the soles of your feet. And when you anoint your feet and bless your feet, you're activating all that energy, which is super wonderful. Okay. So what we're going to do now, by the way, you did get a really beautiful white velvet pillow. So when you're not working with your octahedron in a grid, this is like its little home. It's special. I will tell you, I've been collecting and working with stones for 30 plus years. I had never seen aura fluoride octahedrons. We've never had them. We had them made for the kids. So this is super special. And this is naturally how fluoride grows. Did you know that? So even if you found fluoride naturally growing on its own in a cluster and matrix, it grows in these octahedral shapes. So all they did was polish these and aura treat them, and I think they're absolutely beautiful. Fluoride is the Dharma stone that helps you understand what you're meant to be doing, what your path and purpose is, how to get there. It's directional. And if you are attuned to subtle energies, which most of you are, you probably wouldn't be watching this or following me. If you hold it in your right hand, you're going to be sending that energy out into the world. And if you hold it in your left hand, you're going to be receiving that energy. So if you've been feeling like, I just don't have clarity, I don't have direction, where do I go, what do I do? This is your new bestie for your meditations, especially if you're, a lot of you are changing what you think you want to do and how you want to serve this planet. And I think that's beautiful too. Sometimes the process of reevaluating your path and your purpose is absolutely part of your soul's evolution. So don't resist that. And a lot of that can come up around the Lion's Gate. So if that's where the energy is taking you, go with that flow. Change is the only constant, for better or worse. Okay, so here's what I've done with my mat that came with your kit. And I'll read you the invocation in just a second. So I've put a quartz, like I said, a quartz point in the middle generator, 4 Pachamers. You can use Herkimers or just quartz points, whatever you have. And then I put the fluoride between my generator and that bottom point. The energy of the Lion's Gate is southern directional. It's fire energy. So I sort of chose to put it down at the southern direction in the grid. You can put it where it feels right to you. Always trust your intuition over anything I tell you or anybody else tells you, because your intuition is always leading you correctly. So it says, as the star Sirius rises, take a breath there, so do I. illuminated and strengthened by the glow of the sun. I step through the lion's gate and I embrace the courage to shine. My destiny is accelerated and I watch my deepest dreams take form. Amen, aho, and so it is to that. Right? So let's just open a circle. This is a brief ritual. It's not the whole shebang that we normally do. It's just a small, brief ritual. But it's important because it will allow you to feel the energy of this portal and take it internally, to embody it a little bit, which I think is really important, especially for those of you who tend to stay in your upper chakras and kind of stay in the thinking place. It's good to be in the feeling and sensing and embodiment place. And let's call in and invite those guides and guardians to be with us today, turning as we do always first to the east. And welcoming in the guides and the guardians of the East, element of air. Thank you for helping us acknowledge the vast and beautiful opening of the sacred portal. Thank you for the new beginnings and the energy and the new thoughts and new visions and new inspiration it provides. We welcome you. And then turning and acknowledging the guides and the guardians of the South. Thanking them for fire element energy, for courage and for strength and for transformation, right? Again, so many of our dreams and visions require us to change and transform. And so just surrendering into that process tonight, whatever this fire element energy wants to do or move through us, just saying yes to that right now. And welcoming in those guides and guardians. And then to the guides and the guardians of the West. Welcoming in the element of water, thanking them for their flow, for their prosperity, that rising of the Nile, which still happens today, by the way, right? Still aligned to the heliacal rising of Sirius, which is so beautiful. So we thank and we welcome the guides and guardians of the West to be with us. And then last but not least, thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the North. Thank you for anchoring our manifestations. Thank you for helping us stay protected and present as we move through a fire portal, which is no joke. We love having, you always need that element that balances you, and the element of earth always balances the element of fire. So we thank you for the balance, the clarity, protection, presence. Woo! Amen, aho, and so it is. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to activate this grid, and then we're gonna call up the energy of this grid, the diamond code energy of this grid, and we're gonna weave it through our DNA. We're gonna weave it through the double helix of our own physical DNA to activate those codes in each one of our chakras together. So if you want to do this with me, if you only have your octahedron and you don't have a grid, that's totally okay, by the way. What you can do is just take a double terminated quartz point of any size. You can use little points like this or a big point like that. And then call up the energy. You can see me doing that here, connecting the energy to the fluoride itself. And then you can weave it through the chakras. But I'm going to activate my grid here and also send that energy to you as well and show you how to activate the grid if that's something you want to do and you have the additional quartz points. So we're going to begin here at the quartz generator in the middle, as we always do, connecting above and below, asking our spirit guides and guardians of the directions to be present to us as we generate, as we raise this energy today in service of our growth and the acceleration of our potential, the activation of diamond code today. And then we're going to go out to quartz for magnification and back to quartz for magnification and programming, out to quartz for magnification and back to quartz for magnification and programming. And we're going to go out to the farthest quartz point here and back to quartz in the center for magnification and programming, out to fluorite for direction, for inspiration, for purpose, and back to quartz for magnification and programming, out to quartz for magnification and programming, back to quartz for magnification and programming, and then back to our main quartz point here at the start, at the top where we began in the north, and then back to the generator. Okay, now we've fully activated this grid, including the diamond code energy of the fluorite. I'm going to bring this up to you at the camera. If there's anything like Maybe it's a necklace that you're wearing or your own centerpiece for a grid that you want to charge with this energy that I've raised through my grid. You are more than welcome to plug in to my double term wand. I'm just imagining that energy flowing through from here to there for you. Activating, programming, coding, and recoding. And back to my generator. Okay, a lot of energy moving. Now let's work with it while we're in the circle. So get nice and comfortable. I'm just kind of coming into a lotus position. It's nice if you can be seated, just get really comfortable. But try to straighten your back, roll your shoulders back. Hands always up, which is your receptive position for energy work. It's good to place them on your knees. You can do mudras if you want, you don't have to. I think just open hands oftentimes is the best place to receive. And now what I want you to visualize is this shape, this diamond shape. I want you to first visualize it sitting right above your crown chakra, like this. And I'll tell you, in the universe of spirit, in the spirit world, everything's moving. Nothing sits still. So I want you to imagine that octahedron almost spinning on top of your head, rotating like this. Okay? I'm a very visual person, so if that helps you just to visualize that spinning, that rotation. I took it out of my grid, so I'm just going to reactivate my grid really quick. I didn't take it 12 inches out. When you take a stone really like more than a foot or two away from a grid, you deactivate the grid, but since the energy is so powerful, I just wanted to make sure I reactivated while we're here. Okay. Now, I want you to visualize that diamond shape spinning on top of your head at your crown chakra, okay? And I want you to imagine that it doesn't have to move outside your body. It can actually move through the internal part of your body, that it can move through that central channel of energy and through all your chakras, okay? So we're going to take that diamond of light, that fluorite, and we're going to visualize it moving all the way from the crown to the third eye, to the throat, to the heart, to the solar plexus, to the sacral, to the root. And then past the root, we're going to send that energy down into the earth to bless the planet. Okay? Now here's the other thing you need to visualize. While that diamond is spinning through your field, I want you to imagine that your DNA is winding and unwinding and literally hugging the energy of that octahedron as it moves through. We think of this, when we talk about Kundalini energy, we think of it as two snakes winding. That's your DNA. It's the two snakes, right, of Kundalini. So let's start at your crown, and let's imagine that at your crown chakra, we're activating your faith. Maybe you've lost your faith, or a little bit of your faith, right? The last couple of years has shaken you up, and you're just not sure. Like, what do I really believe? What's true, right? Where do I begin and the divine ends, and vice versa, right? So let's call that energy into your crown chakra to create deeper spiritual wisdom, clarity, and direction. And let's call in the double helix to surround it. And let's let that energy completely penetrate your brain. Let's bring it right to your pineal gland. In the center of your brain, it sits between the two hemispheres, right behind your third eye. So let's bring those double helix of DNA right around and visualize that diamond light now activating your third eye. And let's set an intention here during this portal. Can we please ask to see what needs to be seen? That's my intention. And so through this diamond code and this activation, I ask to see what needs to be seen. Bring me clarity. And now let's wind it around. And let's visualize that octahedron now vibrating at your throat chakra. And let's activate diamond code for clarity, expression, authenticity. Let's be who we are and be able to fully love and appreciate and heal ourselves, heal our voice, speak our truth clearly, communicate effectively, know what to say when, to whom, and why. And then let's wind it around again and bring it down to the heart chakra. Visualizing that, again, that octahedron just vibrating at your heart chakra. And let's activate diamond code for love. Let's vibrate in alignment with the deepest love, whatever that looks like in your life. Bringing it closer to you, helping it to see you so that you can see it too. And taking a breath. And now let's visualize this beautiful vibrating octahedron of light now sitting right at your solar plexus. So let's wind the double helix around your solar plexus. We're going to heal any digestive concerns here. This is all about power and empowerment. So let's heal our ideas about our own power, bringing our power forward in a good way, and also healing anything in our digestive system that isn't in alignment with our perfect health. And now again, winding that double helix down to the sacral chakra. We're going to heal here around passion, desire, intimacy, and creativity. So let's just visualize that double helix now, just creating space for activation here. And inhaling and exhaling just pushes the energy in. All it does is just let the energy land, right? So that the goal is embodiment. To bring this energy from the ethers and to acknowledge it, integrate it, and anchor it into our physical self. And then last but not least, let's bring that double helix down to the root chakra. It's where your booty's sitting, connected to the chair or the floor. And let's visualize activating all of our senses of safety, worth, home, what it means to be home, what it means to belong, right? Let's activate all of that. For some of us, it's big, it's childhood stuff. It's little boy, little girl, little person going, I don't know, am I safe? Am I worthy? Am I lovable? Like all of that. Let's just give all of that a good bath of this beautiful divine light in this portal. And this is the bottom point of our octahedron. So again, let's visualize that this energy comes up from the root and it expands at the heart, which is the fourth chakra. That's the center of your entire chakra system. And then comes up and forms a point above your head. And I want you to visualize yourself being surrounded in this light right now. You are the diamond code, right? You are that vibrating fluorescent aura, octahedron. It's all inside of you right this minute. It's not outside of you. It's not in some other dimension. It's literally you're inside of it in this actual moment. And now, a couple fun exercises here that you can do if you want to take this next level. You can grab a pendulum and ask, are there any chakras out of alignment right now with this vibration, this frequency? And see what you see. The other thing you can do is really check in with your body and see if you're feeling any sensations of discomfort. Sometimes that can be a message to you like, out of alignment here, or out of alignment there. And then just notice what chakra governs that area, and let's just send a blessing to that chakra. So if it's your heart, if it's your solar plexus, if it's your sacral, and just sending the energy down and in, and again, knowing that it's held by this luminescent, vibrating, beautiful octahedron of light that's just surrounding you at this moment. And take a deep breath there. It helps too if you can imagine that the top point of that octahedron is literally connected to Sirius. Like the star Sirius itself is what's illuminating that octahedron surrounding you. Do you feel it? It's big energy if you can hold it. And just see what your body feels like when it's allowing that energy to come through and when it's allowing it to sit in your system. And see how your thoughts shift, right? If you were anxious before, are you more calm now? If you were sad before, do you feel more at peace now? If you were angry or frustrated before, do you feel calmer now? See how the energy of that particular code brings you into a state of balance and alignment. And so now let's authorize this frequency to do any healing that needs to be done, any repairs to the DNA, either strand. That would be, of course, DNA from your matrilineal, from your mother line, DNA from the patrilineal. Let's just give it permission to go through, move, and recode anything that needs to be recoded for you to experience vibrant and perfect health. And just let the energy flow. Trusting it's going to go where it needs to go. You don't have to micromanage that process. The spirit guides have got that, so you can simply just allow the process to unfold. A deep breath there. This is a good time to ask your spirit guides for any wisdom or guidance. Ancestors often will come through this portal too, so I'm just going to be quiet for just a minute while you listen and see if there's some specific wisdom for you that needs to come at this time. I often find there's a very protective, nurturing energy to the Lion's Gate because that's lion energy. It's big and it's strong and it can overwhelm you, right? But it can also be subtle and gentle and just a paw on your hand too. So there's like the duality of that energy is really cool. And now if it feels good to you, I just want you to make just a silent commitment to anchoring this energy through the season and the months ahead through the end of this year. And we only get one Lion's Gate. Obviously, we have to just absolutely do our best to embody it and enjoy the effects of it while it lingers with us. So if that feels good to you, just to say, I seek to hold and embody this frequency for the rest of 2022 so that I bring this power and purpose and passion and strength and healing to body, mind, spirit, and to my practice. And together we say, Wamanaho, and so it is. Wamanaho, and so it is. To your healing. To the diamond code frequency. Every time you light your tea lights, you're going to be activating that frequency again. Every time you work with your grid, which you can activate again and again and again, every full moon, you can bring that energy back and activate it again to sort of experience a resurgence of this if you enjoy it. Now, while we're still in the circle, my trusty assistant, Alexis, and I are going to blend the Lion's Gate incense. I thought it'd be cool to do it in circle before I open the circle. And so we're going to switch cameras so that you can see the absolute beauty that Team SG has created. It's magnificent. Every ingredient pulverized here in House at Sage Goddess, blended by hand. Like I said, I've taken off all my jewelry because I'm going to do the final steps here of making this ready for you. And again, by the time you're watching this, this will be available at sagegoddess.com. This is our Lion's Gate incense. It's limited edition. We're only going to do, it's less than 150 bottles because we're only doing one batch of it. And it's special because it's activated during the Lion's Gate, solar charged here at Sage Goddess 2, and then by the time you receive it, the Lion's Gate portal will be closing, but it'll allow you to carry the energy of this window through the rest of the year. So use it very sparingly when you need that strength. And here we go. Okay, so
you're gonna stand there.
I'm gonna be over here.
Okay. I will lift this
She's going to
up.
hold the camera. Okay.
So I'm gonna point it at you first. There we
Okay.
go. And then I'll zoom in on that once you start.
Okay, cool. So I'm in two places at once. Is there a way to shut off the second camera? There isn't, huh? Okay, it's kind of, you can't see me, but I can see you. So let me see if I go over here a little bit more.
If I turn this, it'll also be looking at you.
No, you know what? If I come like this, you'll be able to see me better. Okay, so I want to go through the ingredients with you real quick. In this portal of goodness, there we are. We have Styrax, which is so powerful for beauty, for meditation. It's also for grounding. And like I said, I want you to see this as your embodiment incense, so that every time you're like, oh, I feel like I've lost that Lion's Gate mojo, I want you to feel like this is your pathway to get it back. There's ginger in here for warrior energy, fire energy, lots of Mars energy, right? Ginger's going to stimulate all the lower chakras, which get stimulated by the Lion's Gate anyway. There's a lot of Kundalini energy associated with Lion's Gate. Then there's white sage, because every time you burn it, you'll automatically be clearing your space too, which I think is beautiful. There's sunflowers for positivity. There's calendula for healing. There's rose petals for passion, blue lotus for vision, and sandalwood for protection and also for meditation. Okay, so all of that is here. What I'm going to be adding to this beautiful blend is this bottle here, which is your Infinite Empowerment Perfume. We went through the notes of this before. This is oud, right, which is what the agar wood tree uses to heal itself. This is pure oud essential oil. I'm using the whole bottle. This little bottle is probably worth at least $1,000. So we've been trying to, with these really special incense blends, just kind of like no expense spared. We want you to have really beautiful natural ingredients. But like I said, use this one sparingly. It is really special. Okay, and then, and by the way, there's also vanilla in here. There's labdanum for protection. There's orris for attraction of love and passion too. And then this bottle right here, this one is I think this is manifestation. Is this the manifestation? Yeah, this is the manifestation. Okay, so this is our original manifestation blend at Sage Goddess. This is myrrh and frankincense, which I think is so cool because that's exactly what the wise men followed the star, right, to bring to the Christ child. There's also patchouli, vanilla. So again, there's a lot of manifestation energy in this blend. There's a lot of passion in this blend. There's a lot of protection in this blend. It's about making things happen and making them happen in a grounded way, but also in an accelerated way too, so that your time frame is shifted. And that's part of what we love about the Lion's Gate, because you're outside of that third dimensional reality. And just because we love ginger and it's such an activator of energy, I'm going to add more ginger. This is called ginger CO2. This is a beautiful natural, it's kind of like, think of it as like first press ginger. Absolutely pure ginger essential oil. And again, that's because we want all the energies of the lower chakras, in particular the sacral and the root, to be activated for the work that you're going to do in the season ahead. And so, just giving thanks to the mother plants, to the ginger, to the white sage, to the oud, to the orris root, to the frankincense and the myrrh, all the resins in here. Giving thanks for, there's some chamomile in here to bring you some peace and some comfort too. Yes. Can you tell I like doing this?
It smells so good.
Yeah, we wish you had smell-o-vision. Okay. So I'm just going to bring it in now. I always like to press it down. And I can always tell when there's enough essential oil in an incense because my hands will make fingerprints. Do you see? If you don't have enough essential oil, you won't be able to see your hand, but do you see how my handprint is like boom right in the middle? That's how I know incense is done. It's a very old school way of knowing that your incense has enough oil in it. And I wore this amulet today because this is one of my prized possessions. My friend Sylvia made this for me. It's more than a decade old, and I've worn it through all kinds of massive life shifts and events and really important manifestations. So I wanted to draw the diamond symbol into the incense with my own amulet, which feels really good. And then I'm going to take your index fingers or your power fingers, I'm going to draw a secondary diamond with my hand. And together we say, Amen, Aho, so it is done. We give thanks to the sun and to Sirius for the mixture of their magic, for power, for strength, for protection, for abundance. Remember, this is the start of the rising of the Nile in Egypt. This is all about abundance, and for the Egyptian people even today, it's a sign of prosperity. And so we give thanks for the energy of this day. Aho! And thank you to Alexis for holding the camera the whole time.
You are very welcome.
So lots of love and blessings to you, everybody. Go and get this incense if you feel called to it. Your code is ROAR, ROAR, for 23% off at sagegoddess.com. And any other tools or goodies that are calling to you today. And thank you so much for being with us for part of our Lionsgate celebrations this year. We wouldn't want to do it without you. So may all of your intentions, may your magic be blessed. I'm going to take my wand and close my circle. Can't leave the circle open. So we're going to thank and release all the guides and the guardians for holding this space with us today. Thanking and releasing, we always start where we left off. So thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the North. Thank you for your presence, protection, peace, and patience. We release you with gratitude. And then thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the West. Thank you for blessing us and our tools with abundance, with healing and nurturing. We release you with gratitude. Thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the South. So important on such a fiery day. Thank you for helping us open this portal to transformation and change and being courageous enough to take the steps it requires. We release you with gratitude. And then last but not least, thanking and releasing the guides and guardians of the East. Thank you for new beginnings. Thank you for helping us honor this cycle and for all the new beginnings and rebirths that this cycle will launch in each of our lives. We release you and give thanks. Amen. Aho. And on we go, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to let Alexis put her camera down. And just one more time, say thank you to you for being here as well. Oh, you have to turn that camera back toward me. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was wonderful to have you guys here today. I hope you enjoyed the ceremony. And remember, as long as you're doing it on August 8th, in whatever time zone you're in, you are doing it at the perfect time. This is the portal. And really, you have until the 12th to seal the energy. So you can, of course, do this. On the 8th is when the energy is the most powerful. That's the peak of the portal. But the 9th, 10th, 11th, and the 12th are still powerful energy days. So even if you're finding this on August 11th at midnight, I would still do the ceremony. And like I said, I hope it brings you all kinds of abundance and joy and transformation in your life too. We'll see you soon. Cheers and blessings. Thank you for being here for the 2022 Sage Goddess Lionsgate ceremony. We'll see you soon.